Hello everyone. In this tutorial we are going to learn how to configure and schedule backups in Microsoft SQL Server. Let's begin. This tutorial will guide you how to configure and schedule MSSQL database backups. We will backup the databases, using the native SQL Server backup procedures. Let's begin. For transaction log backup, ensure that all the databases you want to backup are in full recovery mode. Using this option will allow you to restore up to the last transactional log backup. Right-click on each database and click Properties. From the Recover Model option select Full and click OK to apply the changes. Connect to the SQL Server using Management Studio. The connecting login should have sysadmin privileges. Expand the Management node and then right-click on Maintenance Plans. From the available options select Maintenance Plan Wizard. This wizard is going to configure and schedule the backups for us. Click Next. You have to give an appropriate name to the maintenance plan. If your plan contains more than one task, you have a choice to either schedule them to run together, or each can have a separate schedule. Select the option accordingly. SQL Server Agent is the service that executes scheduled jobs. If you select separate schedule for each task, schedule option will be disabled. Click Next. From all the different options available, we have to select backup related tasks, which includes backup database full, backup database differential and backup database transaction log. Click Next. This screen has importance if you schedule all the tasks to execute on the same time. This allows you to adjust the order of execution. In our case we have scheduled the task to run separately, so any order would be fine. If required, you can use Move Up or Move Down button to set the execution preferences. Click Next. The first task is to schedule the full backup. In the General tab there is an option to select the databases you want to backup. The available options are All Databases, System Databases which includes Master, Model, and MSDB and User Databases. Another option is to select manually. Click on the Change button to schedule full backup task. The first thing is to give an appropriate name. Schedule type has to be recurring if the task is scheduled to run periodically. In frequency options, you have to select the occurrence which can be daily, weekly, or monthly. We are planning to run full backup once a week. After selecting weekly, you need to specify the day. We have checked Saturday. In the next section you have to specify the execution time of the task. No end date means task will run forever. Backup is going to create a separate file for each database. If you want to place each file in a separate directory then check Create a Subdirectory option. Specify folder where to keep full backups. Extension of the backup file .bak is the default. In the Options tab you can set the backup compression. Compression of course saves the disk space but on the other hand increase the restoration time. If you want to expire backup on a certain date or number of days then you have this option available. Perform checksum options ensure what was read from the disk goes to the backup and is restorable. Ensure backup integrity by checking Verify backup integrity. Copy-only backup doesn't affect the differential base. It's kind of a full restoration. Backup can also be encrypted. Click Next. Next task is to configure and schedule differential backup. The base for subsequent differential backups will be the last full backup. Select the databases you want to backup. Click Schedule Change button. Give an appropriate name to the task. Schedule type has to be recurring since we are scheduling it to secure databases. Plan is to take full backup on Saturday night and subsequent differential backup all days of the week. In frequency, select daily then specify the time that is the most suitable for backups. Select no end date if you want to run this backup forever. In the Destination tab point to the directory where you want to keep incremental backups. If you want to store each backup in its own directory then check Create a Subdirectory option. By default the backup extension is .bak. We have already discusses the different options while configuring the full backup. We will choose the same here as well. Click Next. The third task is to configure and schedule transaction log backups. Only the databases which are in full recovery mode will be displayed in the selection list. Click Schedule to configure periodic run for this backup. It is very important to decide the execution frequency of the transaction log backup, because you can only restore up to the last transaction log. We will set frequency to 10 minutes. Which means, if something happens just before the next execution, there are chances of losing almost 10 minutes data. The narrower the frequency is, the more secure your databases are. In duration, select no end date if you want to execute this task for unlimited period. Click OK. To keep a record of backup logs and reports, you can specify a directory. If you have configured email, reports can email to on your provided email address. In some other lesson we will see how to set up emails in SQL Server. You can expand the tree node for each task and see if the selected options are correct. If a change is required, you can navigate back to that screen. If you are okay with the configuration, just click on Finish button. Setup progress and status will be shown. Backups are configured. Now it's time to run the jobs manually and see if the execution is successful. You can see the 3 new jobs created in the Jobs section under SQL Server Agent. You can rename the jobs to a more meaningful name. Right-click the job and press Start Job. The job executes successfully. Backup can be seen the backup directories. Thanks for watching the video. Please like the video and subscribe the channel to appreciate our hard work.